Good morning. This is Bill from Curious Cars, and today the KB Auto Collection. And it's not even morning. To be perfectly frank with you, it's evening. The sun is going down over there, so I'm probably running out of light. It feels very, very strange. I'm a different human being at night than I am in the morning. Probably not for the better, because I've had all day to get really crabby about a bunch of stupid crap that happens. And, I don't know. We're going to see where this goes. But this is a great car, so it's cheering me up a little bit. I don't know. I'm not, okay. I had a spiel that I'm not going to go into. All right, today I have this Bentley. This is a 2009 Bentley Continental GT Speed. They really are a bit on the nose with the speed thing. They're not really fooling around with the name. They're getting right to the point of what the car is about. And it's an option package for those who are not satisfied with the, window crank, vinyl seat, AM radio, standard Continental GT, that they feel the need to add another 40 plus grand to the price of it and come up with this thing. So, the Speed has a base price over 200, like 205 or something. You're never going to get one for that because they add more and more stuff on top of it to where they come anywhere in the 240 to 270 range by the time Bentley is done. And that means it's not a car for the financially less able, like myself. It's a car for people who make a hell of a lot more money than I do. And I can appreciate that. And I also like to have a little taste of how life is for them. So it's nice to have this car here today. The Speed has added some extra stuff to the normal GT. Again, who's satisfied when you have 560 horsepower when now you can have 600 like this has, when you can have 553 pound-feet of torque, when you can run 0 to 60 in maybe a little over 4 seconds and do a quarter mile in the 12.5 range at 114, all while weighing 5,200 pounds. I mean, none of the numbers on this car make any sense when you start crunching them. It just can't be. It just simply can't be that it turns in those kind of performance figures and actually feels very nimble on the road while it weighs more than your average school bus. So, I don't know. I don't know how the Germans did it. It is a British car, theoretically, but by the same token, if you really want to boil it down, it's a German car that's assembled in Britain to appear British so that the Chinese will buy it. And, that's, China is their biggest market, but I imagine there's also some rich Koreans who are going to buy this thing, too. Up front, what distinguishes the Speed from your normal Continental GT is it has a more upright grille. So this thing with the mesh in it, I can't remember what the hell you call it, matrix grille, is more up and down than it would be otherwise. You've also got much wider air intakes, not even much wider, just a little bit wider. You get a lot for your 40 grand. You get extra few inches on your air intakes. The wheels look very similar to the non-Speed wheels, but they are a little bit wider. The suspension sits a little bit lower, and it's a little bit stiffer, and the steering is a little bit tuned. So, again, Bentleys historically have been performance cars for very, very wealthy British guys to drive out to their 25-room country cottage and molest the chambermaids, and that continues today, except now it's probably the Chinese guys doing it. So, oh God! Speaking of the Chinese, this is amazing. I'm doing this car tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to do a video on it. It's a Buick. What the hell is it? All these things look the same to me. Some kind of Oldsmobile Buick. It's an Envision. It's a very nice car, and it came in on. I don't know. Somehow we ended up with it today. It's a real charmer. It's made entirely in China. Everything. It has 2% American parts content. I was befuddled when I was looking at the window sticker. A Buick. I mean, I get that they might do this with a Chevy or even if they brought back Saturn or something. But Buick at 2, Buick. I mean, I know that Buick's very popular in China, and we'll get into that. And Sun Yat-sen drove one, and anyway, it just, I don't know, the world I don't recognize at all. I haven't really talked much about it either, all of the madness going on, all the conspiracy theories and mayhem. I'm just putting my head in the sand like an ostrich and getting on with life and pretending. I won't even tell you. I talked to Gary. I shouldn't name names, but I did. A guy named Gary. He's the husband of one of the people who works at Auto House. And, you know, he is a very nice little guy. He's very tiny, like an elf, just a little tiny guy. And he's always sort of, you know, been one of these fringe conspiracy types. But, you know, I asked him what he thought of that COVID vaccine, and I really shouldn't even tell. I can't. Something about nanotechnology and 5G, and we're all going to be in the cloud or something. And I thought, you know what, I am so happy that I have tuned all of this out, because if this even remotely constitutes what the average American citizen is talking about to each other, then we have absolutely no hope. It's over. It's done. We're way too much at odds. We're going to end up in a smoking pit of nothing if it continues this way, and I want absolutely no part of it. None. I am just going to tune out. I'm going to play some Led Zeppelin or Oingo Boingo or something and just pretend that none of it's going on, and you know, live my life reviewing 600 horsepower Bentleys and, you know, try to pay the bills with whatever I can find to rub two sticks together. So anyway, let's just get into this car. Nobody wants to hear all this crap. The speed. I do love this. I love the pillarless glass. I love the wide open. We left the windows down on purpose to show you that. What a gorgeous roof line. Your, you know, pillar back here. You've got your little Hofmeister Kink in the design. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It's some German guy. Hofmeister, I guess that makes sense. And he essentially is the cat that designed this little kink back on the D-pillar. And it's become a styling cue used in everything from, you know, famously BMWs, but your average Hyundai has it running down the road now. A neat little thing. You press the B. The black signifies that this has a 12-cylinder. I should say, yeah, it is a 12-cylinder, W12, not a V. I'll try not to make that mistake again. And it lifts up the boot. Don't take my word for it. It says it there. That's supposed to impress your average Chinese guy. Very nice big boot in this car because, of course, you don't have any kind of top mechanism, and the wheelbase on it is about, you know, as long as your average four-door sedan. So, you know, it really does need to have a big trunk area to justify the size of the car, and it does not disappoint. I will say that it does end, you know, like you could have a lot more room inside these fenders, but that probably is a place to house all of the electronics that are eventually going to fry and cost a lot of money to repair. And again, you know, I know there's guys out there. Let's see what's under here. There's a, you know, this is what a $2,000 temporary spare looks like. It's a giant big, you know, temporary spare that fits in there, and tools, and it's all great. But anyway, you know, there's guys that come on the lot and they say, oh, that Bentley, yeah, that's going to cost you some money in repairs, you know. And, well, I mean, again, that's a friggin' feature on the car. It's what separates you from the peasants. I mean, if everybody could own a Bentley and drive one and run around and repair it, then what would be the point? You know, how is anyone going to distinguish that you've achieved major league, you know, douchebag status if they just can't, you know, distinguish you from the guy who's maintaining a Honda? It's just not the same. All right, this is too dangerous to do one-handed, so you have to lift up on that B to get in here. So there it is, a W12, and it's called a W based on the way that the engine is organized. It is put together. It's essentially two VR6 motors. You know, you remember the old VR6 VWs. It's two of those stuffed together with a bunch of turbochargers and other crap to make it really, really fast, and they've accomplished that. Again, 600 friggin' horsepower out of this thing, in a fairly small and tight package. Much smaller and much tighter than you get in a V12, where it'll have 6 cylinders running, you know, fore and aft versus, you know, 4 rows of 4 cylinders. So is that 4? No, 3. 4 rows of 3 cylinders. I did have some coronavirus whiskey this evening, you can tell. But anyway, there it is. It's got a, you know, big smooth transmission that's all-wheel drive, so it moves all 4 at once, and varies how that works. You can see the car sitting a little bit lower than your average Bentley. It actually has tremendously good wind resistance. I do believe it is quite a handsome car. I can't take that away from it. The styling is quite lovely, and I just can't argue with it. And a bit subtle as well. For it's gone is all the ornate stuff on the prior Bentleys. Even the detuned, like the Bentley Turbo R, they blacked out a lot of trim, but it still had a lot of trim. You really can't say that about these Continentals. What else can I tell you? I'll walk around it one more time before we get in. I love that sloping back. It's just very handsome. A little hint of barely a spoiler. You got the wings. This one came from Bentley of Beverly Hills. If you haven't contributed to their canned food drive down there, you might want to do that. They're doing a nice job with that, keeping people happy. So, all right. Anyway, let's just get in the damn car. Look at the big oval twice pipes there. All very cool. All right, it has soft closed doors, so we'll just put those there. And you see it sucks them in. You don't want to expend too much energy when you're opening your door. There you can see it has special door sill trim that's a speed, puts you in the mood to break some laws. And I mean, again, if you get pulled over by the police for, driving like an idiot, just buy the damn county, You don't, you can fire the cop, throw up the ticket, and you're good to go. I don't know how many cows gave their lives for this car, but plenty. You can see it has these nice little bucket seat options with the piano black trim. In fact, I'm going to sit in here. Hell with it. Let's do that. Oh my God. Yeah, it's still a little bit tight getting in. Not quite like getting in a 79 Z28, but not far removed either. So we've got, what do we have? An ashtray. That's awesome because the Chinese are still smoking like the Germans used to. You've got dark tinted metal. You get that with the speed package. We've got a center console here that comes down. What is this? An armrest. Yeah, that's nice. Nice place to rest your arm. You've got Bentley logos in the diamond stitched seats, diamond tuck. Probably went down to Mexico to get that. You've got like at least 2 cows in the headliner. Gorgeous, but my God, did they put a lot of cows in this car. And everywhere you look, it's just covered with rich, lovely, beautiful hand-stitched leather and nice metal switchgear and perfect piano black stuff. You really can't argue with the quality of Volkswagen's materials. They've come a long way since they did the Beetle. They really, really have. All right, is the seat going to go back on its own? No. So you have to use this. I didn't have the thing all the way back. Now it goes back. Nice, even speeds up. And everywhere you look, the nice little caps on the seat tracks, you can tell it's just, again, all much fancier than your standard car. I like the contrasting black stitching in there. Again, the fancy, they've taken Volkswagen switchgear and made it metal and beautiful and put it in this Bentley. Ditto these handles and door locks. It's just all very nice stuff. Also a nice big map pocket there with more leather inside, and quite a lovely place to store a revolver. Let's hop in and let that door close. I've got a couple of keys here that I'll show you. There they are, Bentley Keys. They have the B on them. They flip out if you wanted to use the standard thing, but we're not going to. I'm just going to put my foot on the brake and do that. And we're supposed to check the lights, see what's up with that, and fasten our seat belts. All right, so what do we got? My seatbelt on. You do have a little bit more of a raspy exhaust note than you would in the non-speed model. So again, they figure if you're the guy who opted for the extra 40 or so grand to get the car that goes faster, you're going to want to have more exhaust, and they're right about that. We also have a power tilt column. Nice, they gave you that for your money. You've got these very fancy gauges up there with, what do we have, like 6,200 RPM red line on that W12 with the Bentley logo, which is the same one that might have come from a 4.5 liter racing special back in the day. You got water temp, you got your fuel. Don't even ask about fuel mileage. If you're asking, this isn't the car for you. Driver information center. and a 200 plus mile an hour speedometer, with again, with 202 miles an hour of projected top speed. That thing is not at all ambitious. It's just exactly what you need. Incredible expanses of leather everywhere on the dashboard. It's just incredible. Let me get this going, turn this down. More of the piano black. You've got apparently a genuine Breitling clock there in the center with actual Breitling parts inside. You got more of these fancy, Bentley style metal switch gears. You've got, this is basically a VW infotainment unit, but it works fine and it's good and it's all you need. You've got your navigation. You can get into your climate control, your audio. Here's your navigation again. I'm pretty sure it has a camera. Yeah, it does. Nice stuff. Down here you can have 3 different settings for, well, you've got your shocks. You've got 4 different settings for suspension in terms of stiffness between comfort and sport. Here we're right in the middle. I could roll over and make it more comfortable, or I could roll over all the way here and make it more sport. So that's going to make them stiff as hell. We also have 3 different settings for height. So if I press this, you can see right now we're at normal. If I turn this 1, we're going to be at high. What can we do? We can be, it's normal or high. What's 2 settings? It's weird. I thought it was 3. Okay, well, we're lifting. I can feel the car raising me. You see that raising vehicle. So let's get out and see what we got. Yeah. All of a sudden now we're getting more air in the wheel wells as the thing goes up, and you're going to be able to get over any kind of weird obstacles, again, your opposing rival gang member's head, or any number of pedestrians who got in your way, or that guy who wanted to wash your windows at the red light, or apparently that's a thing anymore. You can't call the police on hobos at the red light. I found that out when I called on one in Kissimmee a few weeks ago. Very aggressive guy was, coming right up to the window, and he's breathing on me. We're in the middle of a pandemic, so I put the window up and I called the local police and said, man, you got hobos out here, assaulting people. They're looking for handouts. They're getting very aggressive. And they say, the ordinance says that that's the way it has to be. So again, every day, I get some new indicator of how we live in a different world than the one that I grew up with. It's very, very strange to me. You have this big dual binnacle dashboard here with the the piano black, nice stuff. You got a self-dimming mirror. You got more piano black up here with real elegant looking chrome bits surrounding lights and buttons and switches and knobs. All very cool stuff. What is this here? Let's see what these are. If I press that, there is our spoiler that pops up. All right, okay, cool. Let me pop out and show you that. And that is part of I'm pretty sure it probably also comes on the Continental. It doesn't have to be the Speed, but on the Speed it just makes more sense. So that little guy is going to pop up when you're getting over a certain amount of miles per hour at the interstate, say 150, and then lower itself back down again when you start going slow. So not too bad. Kind of cool stuff. Also like those aluminum pedals. Be cool if there were 3, I'd have to say. Wouldn't that be something? Alright, so I get that back down. Alright, I'm going to get back to a low setting here because the car looks a lot better when it's low. And we have, what do we have? Heated seats here. We don't need those. It's got kind of warm again. Kind of a shame. Hopefully we get some cool weather coming up. I love the shifter with the more leather. There's a baby cow, baby veal they used for that. Black Bentley button, machined, nice feeling stuff. Again, all of this is metal and well made, and that's one of the things that separates this car from most of the other cars on the road. It may not be the same, handmade from front to back thing that the original earlier British Bentleys were, but it probably means it's going to start up every morning too, so there are trade-offs for these things. Oh, they do a nice job. I have to give them credit. In this sort of plastic fantastic world we live in, where so many things are off the shelf and not really, craftsmanship and artisanship of the way that we had when, we dreamed about as kids. Everything's much more mass-produced because it has to be. Bentley's a little bit of a holdout. They do a pretty nice job of making everything feel very special and tailored for you. The ride is astounding. I mean, right now we're in the stiffest suspension setting, and it's still more comfortable than any other car I've driven in the past month. You just get to feel a little bit more of the bumps than usual. The feel from this, I mean, you're moving this 5,200 pound thing down the road, and still it manages to feel very, very nimble. I mean, we're not exactly like a Miata or anything, but still much more nimble than you would expect for a car of this size. Also has these paddle shifters. I'm not a big fan of them not being fixed. I even have to bend over to let you see them here. Move the camera over, but it would be nice if they followed the wheel, to be honest. Let's just go. I got cars stopped up there, so I really can't hit it. Well, I'll hit it anyway. Holy shit. Okay, it's not like a lot of 12 cylinders that I've driven where you kind of hit it and they spool up like freight trains. I mean, they're fast as hell, but they're spooling. They're not, it's not a violent acceleration. This thing gives you a bit of a violent acceleration, I have to say. Wow. Holy shit, that feels amazing. And that is, again, what really separates this car from a lot of other stuff. Never mind the 600 horse. I mean, again, a Cadillac CTS-V has something approaching that, if not more. But it doesn't feel like this car. It doesn't feel nearly as heavy or substantial or insane as this car does. And all the while, pampering you and, the ivory tusks and powdered rhino horns, and you just feel like you're a master of the universe in this car, belly laughing your way to another 6 figures or 8 figures in your bank account. It's just a terrific feeling driving a Bentley like this. And I gotta say, the exhaust note out the back is very different on this speed from any other Bentley I've driven. Much more aggressive, much deeper rumble. So anyway, I'll leave it there. This is going to be one of my shorter videos, only like 80 minutes long. And I'll tell you, what do we have coming up? I might do that Buick tomorrow. I don't know. I got an old Buick Regal. I got an Oldsmobile Aurora, of all things. I didn't even know any were still around. I found one with green leather. So I'll probably be doing that car in the near future, and then some other fun stuff. So yeah, we'll see. It's great, isn't it? From a Bentley Continental Speed to an Oldsmobile Aurora. You just can't make that shit up. Anyway, thank you so much for having a look. We really appreciate it. If you have an interest in this Bentley, you can call Clemens at the KB Auto Collection, 239-250-3003. Very nice guy, despite being German. I'm kidding. He's just a very nice guy. And he'd be very happy to tell you anything you want to know about this car. Very knowledgeable and friendly cat. So you won't be disappointed if you end up with this. This is a real sweetheart of a piece. Thanks for having a look, and we will see you soon with the next one. Take care.